I relied on them, and now I know the ex is a narcissist, so what to do? At some point, the narcissist stopped being a person and became your emotional source. You relied on them so much, and you now realise your trust was completely misplaced. One of the hardest questions I asked myself was, why did I trust this person so much when they only wanted to harm me and take from me? You will discover the answer to this question, but I want you to take some time away from the video at some point to explore this very important question. It will be key to you breaking this toxic cycle forever and getting your life back after the ex is long gone. One of the most painful realizations in healing from narcissistic abuse is understanding this. The narcissist didn't just become someone you loved. They became someone you relied on emotionally 100%. They became a source of validation, reassurance, identity, relief from anxiety, of regulation, and of you being the chosen one. It happens because something inside you learned, often at a very early stage in your life, that safety comes from another and not from yourself. I have to flag up here, trusting and relying on people is a normal expectation in a loving relationship. So these qualities are not wrong, and they make you who you are. But in a relationship with a narcissist, especially if you are not aware they are, is very dangerous. And this was the catch all along. And what I mean by that is the very qualities that make you who you are, caring, loving and kind, are what attracted the narcissist to you. They themselves are empty voids and do not have what you possess. So you were beguiled or tricked and offered your qualities in abundance. Unfortunately, you had some blind spots to this, and that is how you became a victim. Otherwise, if you had known, why would you put yourself in this position? Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and transformation coach. I help midlife women get their confidence and radiance back after toxic divorce, no matter what has happened in the past. So it all happened to you because something inside you learned very early that safety comes from another person. And many survivors of narcissistic abuse are deeply caring, empathic and relational. And these are strengths, but when combined with unresolved wounds, they can turn into over-attachment. We can hand power over to a toxic person, and our strengths are then used against us. It's truly insidious. The narcissist senses these qualities about you, and they present themselves as the answer, the protector, the rescuer, the one who finally gets you. And slowly, without you realising, your nervous system assigns them as your emotional regulator, your source of all that is. But what we did not know is that this person was only interested in bolstering themselves, no matter if it harmed us, using our strengths against us in the process. Before we continue, let's just ground again. I understand that this subject may well be quite triggering, so if you feel emotion rising, just gently reconnect with your safe space. Let your body remember that safety can exist right now, independent of another person. And this is crucial because the goal here is not to feel abandoned by letting go of the narcissist, but to trust that you always had the best of intentions, and the goal is to come home to yourself, for you to be your source. So if you would like to create sanctuary for yourself for healing purposes, then why not check out my short sanctuary meditation? Click the link in the description below. When another person becomes your source in this way, losing them feels like total annihilation. But in healing, when you become your source to yourself, losing them feels, yes, like grief, but not total collapse. Healing is not about becoming cold or guarded and mistrusting or independent in a rigid kind of way. It's about becoming internally secure, accepting yourself and realising that you have the qualities that make you a warm, giving, trusting person. That doesn't make you wrong. You were vulnerable to a predator who has harmed you. And understanding what made you especially vulnerable to this is key to healing, so that you don't repeat the cycle again. And also accepting yourself for who you really are. As you heal, you begin to experience self-soothing, inner calm, and greater self-awareness, and the ability to feel emotions without being consumed by them. And as this happens, the narcissist naturally loses their grip because they are no longer needed. You become your emotional safe space. And it's not something you have to force, it's just something that emerges as your relationship trauma heals, as you develop greater awareness of how to meet your own needs and create safety for yourself. If you're beginning to get a glimpse at how to break the toxic cycle of narcissistic abuse, then why not check out my other videos in this series, and you can do that here.